I don't know who I am anymore.
Good Lord. You're one of those white actors who think you have it worse than us blacks, aren't you?
Listen, Toots. I've played Irish maids, Italian washerwomen, Jewish mamas, and even a Chinese hooker. So you don't have to tell me what it's like to play roles far below my capabilities.
Have you done blackface?
Have I done blackface? Of course I have. What white actor hasn't? It's the rage of the country. You got a problem with that?
I sure do. You are white.
And honey, you are black. And let me tell you, playing you ain't fun.
Sweetie, when they have me doing whiteface, then you come on back and we can compare notes. Now get out of here.
Not so fast. I ain't through talking. You think you got it rough being black? Well, look at me. I show up for auditions, and the next thing I know, they're handing me a mop and a pail and a brush and telling me to report to some set. And guess what? I don't say no. And why? Because I need the money. But that don't mean I gotta like it.
Well, then you should know how I feel when the same happens to me.
But there's a difference. You're black.
Oh, good Lord.
What do you mean by that?
Because those jobs are for blacks. So when they see you playing a maid, that's normal. But when a white woman is playing the same role, well, it's just plain demeaning. And when I complain to my agent, he just laughs like it's a big joke. But it ain't funny.
Well, I'm not laughing either.
Glad you feel that way.
What are you so glad about? You're nothing but a racist. And what's worse, you're an idiot too.
Why are you insulting me? What have I done to you?
Well, you barged into my conversation with Jim, insult us, and now you're acting like you said nothing wrong.
Lady, I think it's best you leave.
I said something wrong. Me? Whoever heard of a white mammy?
Do you really believe that every black woman is a maid?
Or that every black man is a janitor?
Well, aren't they? I travel a lot by train and all the porters are black. I stay in hotels and all the maids and housekeepers are black. That's just the way it is. White people don't do that kind of servant work. After all, you are descended from slaves, right?
Honey, I'm beginning to lose my patience with you.
Now what?
You see, Jim, what we have to deal with, I don't know if it's ignorance, meanness, or just plain stupidity.
Hey, who you calling stupid?
You, that's who.
Hey, watch how you talk to me.
Calling me a slave. I ought to stand your butt right now.
What nerve, so uppity. No wonder you can't get any good roles.
Okay, ladies, just calm down. Look, Agnes, why don't you leave?
You're lucky your boyfriend's here. Otherwise, I'd have you arrested for agitation. You're nothing but a foul-mouthed troublemaker.
First, he's not my boyfriend. Second, if anybody's lucky, it's you. Lucky that you're white. Lucky that you can go wherever and wherever you want, do whatever you want, and be whatever you want.
Hey, Toots, you're all wet. Nobody's stopping you either. You're stopping yourself. He's not your boyfriend? Then why is he here? Oh, I get it. He's your long-lost cousin, and all you're doing is catching up on family business.
Why are you talking so mean to us?
Don't pay her any mind. She don't know any better.
With an attitude like yours, I'm surprised they even let you on the set.
Oh, why don't you just hush up now?
What's the matter, sweetheart? Can't handle the truth?
The truth is, you are a fool. You see, Jim, this is the kind of racist garbage that keeps us down.
Oh my, here we go again. All white people are racist and all black people are victims. I've heard that before.
Well, it's the truth.
Believe what you want, sister. All I know is that I get treated as shabbily as you and I'm white. So the next time you and your friend Jim start running off at the mouth, just remember that other people are struggling to get by too. Okay?
A whistle is heard from the distance.
Oh, I gotta get back to Studio 6. I'm playing a washerwoman in this Cagney movie, and I even have a couple of lines.
Agnes exits the stage.
Oh, that woman just got me so upset.
I know, Mabel. Listening to that garbage talk is depressing. But what makes it even more frustrating is that we don't even have the tools to even begin to better ourselves.
That's true.
To make real change, you gotta have organization and money.
Yeah, talk is fine, but if you can't back it up, then what good is it? You speak up, and what do you get? Grief.
Maybe that's the price we gotta pay to make some real changes. Bring some fairness in the workplace. Maybe earn a little respect.
But that's a big price to pay, especially if you're out on your own. No sense in fighting if you can't win.
What makes you think we can't win?
Well, after listening to Agnes, if white actors are being treated like dirt, then what can we do?
We could do a whole lot if we go about it carefully.
Well, what do you have in mind?
I've been thinking about sending out some flyers to all the other black actors, calling for a meeting to discuss what we've been talking about.
I thought that you didn't want anybody to think you were union man. Now you want to contact other black actors?
I know exactly what I said, but this has nothing to do with organizing. I just want to bring some of us together for mutual support. Going at it alone would be a waste of time, but if we hang in there together, then maybe we can get our point across.
Yeah, we have a right to assemble and even speak out. But that don't mean they'll listen.
Well, they better listen or else.
Or else what, Jim? What you gonna do? Give them a nasty stare? Give them the finger? Even white workers are getting bashed down. Look what happened at the Ford plant in Detroit. The workers not only got fired, they got run out of the factory by the police. Or what about those two Jewish fellows that got tossed off the track team in Germany at the Berlin Olympics?
What about those fellas?
I read that the coach dropped them because he didn't want to offend Hitler. So he replaced them with two blacks. Can you believe that?
Sure, I can believe that. We're the best runners in the world. At least somewhere we appreciate it.
Yeah, in Nazi Germany. Anyway, white people are getting pushed around too.
But they're also in charge. And even if they're down, they can still work their way up without doors being closed in their face. While we're denied the same opportunities, except I guess at the Olympic Games where it's okay for blacks to jump high and run fast without getting into trouble.
Yeah, strong pair of legs and a good set of track shoes can certainly come in handy, especially if you're being chased by the police. But if you stay out of trouble, then nobody cares.
The problem is being able to stay out of trouble. The police have it in for us. Just waiting to run us in on the slightest pretense. That's why the jails is always packed with blacks. I mean, all of us can't be criminals.
We're not all criminals. But like you said, we got to be careful because they have the power.
Yeah, that's right. But sometimes a man got to do what a man got to do. Just like when our parents were slaves. If it wasn't for guys like Frederick Douglass and Nat Turner, we'd still be slaves today.
We still are slaves, wage slaves. The workplace is our plantation and the production assistants and casting directors are our overseers. Because without money, we are nothing. In fact, less than nothing, lower than low. And the bosses know it too because a lot of them were once workers too.
They actually were? You for real?
Yeah, I'm for real. A lot of them came to this country plumb broke, but made it big. How about that Jewish guy who has that big studio on the other side of town? I heard he came to this country from Russia with nothing. Now look at him.
That don't mean nothing. He's white. So he came to this country with a big advantage over us. Our people came here in chains, and we are never allowed to forget it. What bugs me is that you have all kind of people coming to this country making big bucks, while we blacks who were here from the start are kept down, made to grovel, scrounge, and are treated like we count for nothing. Nothing!
That's not entirely so, Jim. Look at the progress we've made since we've been free.
What progress? We work, pay taxes, do all kinds of stuff, but for what? We're still not treated equal, and that's a fact. If we were, they wouldn't be making fun of us like they do in the movies.
Well, we're not the only ones who get poked fun at. What about all those white comics like Laurel and Hardy, for instance? You don't hear white people complaining about them.
That's different. It's one thing for white people to laugh at themselves because they take it as a joke. But when they starting with us, there's an edge to their so-called humor that's meant to put us down, keep us in our place, and make us feel like we count for nothing. Like, for instance, this morning, I heard on the radio, this white comedian telling all kind of nasty jokes, and a lot of these jokes was about black men, making it sound like we nothing but a bunch of stupid thugs, drunks and the like. You know, like we nothing but a bunch of idiots. I could hear the audience laughing, yeah. They sure loved it, but I wasn't laughing, not one bit. Once again, the black man is being reduced to the level of a joke, a thing, not to be taken seriously. It's pure racism masquerading as humor, and all it does is set people against us.
I've never seen it that way before, but now that I come to think of it, a couple of days ago, I was talking to this white guy, and he started cracking all these jokes about Polish people and the Irish. At the time, I thought they were hilarious. And we were laughing up a storm. But after listening to you, I could see that those jokes like those, can really be mean and cruel and meant to keep people down. Well, as far as I'm concerned, we do count for something, which is why we gotta keep on going and not give up.
That's all I ever hear nowadays. Just keep hanging there, just stay the course, keep on the same track. We'll get to that promised land soon enough. But damn it, I'm tired of it. I can't wait any more longer. I want my share of it.
Don't you think I'm hungry for my slice of pie too? We all feel this way.
I don't know how we all feel, but this is how I feel. And if every black in America felt the same way, then nothing could stop us. We'll get what's ours. We built this country from nothing. For nothing. And now it's time for payback. Time to cash in and live the good life.
Well, before you start sending out your letters, think about what's happening to the Jews in Germany.
What about them?
They're being treated worse than we are, and they're white.
That's just further proof that we got to do something fast to protect ourselves. Because if that's the way white people treat other white people, then there's no telling what they do to us if they had a chance. Look what Germany and Russia did to Poland. They obliterated an entire country, and the Poles are white. And what about what happened to those Italians who was lynched in New Orleans in 1891? And the Jews who were pelted with garbage in New York in 1901, during a funeral procession, no less? After that incident, the Jews said nobody ever treated them like that, not even in Russia, where they hated.
If the Jews could be bullied around and they supposedly control everything, then what chance do we have against the system here?
Right now, none. We're not united. You have some brothers who say, no problem, everything's just fine. Then you have others who say, we have problems, but let's not rock the boat. I don't know what planet they operating from. And then there are those who are angry and want to change things, but don't know what to do. They're the ones that get in trouble.
I wish I could have told that prissy lady in that old South movie what I really thought of her.
Someday you may have the chance, especially if someone make a sequel. But unfortunately, for now, you have to bid your time until we can get organized.
Well, who's going to help us out?
Right now, nobody. And that's why I want to bring together other blacks.
But what good would they do? They're just as bad off as we are.
Then I'll contact some white actors too. Maybe some of them would be willing to join us.
Yeah, right. Oh, I could just imagine Fluffy and Agnes getting a letter asking them to help us. Boy, would that be a laugh. No, Jim. I don't think that would be a good idea. And besides, if being black in the United States is a problem for us, then aren't we the ones who should have to deal with it?
Of course. But they'll be our backer. Don't you get it? We can't go at this alone.
You're dreaming. There's no way that any white people are going to stick their necks out to help us. That's a little bit of a stretch.
That's not true. There are white people out there who would help us out.
You mean guys like Randy who do blackface to make us look and sound like jerks?
Don't get me wrong, that burns me up.
and sing those stupid songs reminiscing about the old South. You know, when we were slaves.
Like Rockabye Your Baby. Now you know I can't stand that song.
But for white people, those were the good old days.
Not for us though. We did the picking while they made the money.
To tell you the truth, this whole subject is starting to give me a real bad headache.
Hey look, I don't hate anyone. All I want to be is treated with dignity and respect. But to achieve that in this country requires struggle. Because I can change my name, but I can't change the color of my skin.
It all comes down to the question of changing attitudes, both theirs and ours.
True. But no matter what, we still gotta speak up, speak out, and make ourselves heard. Otherwise, we'll be overtaken, pushed aside, and declared expendable.
I wouldn't want that to happen.
Well, it can happen. I remember when I was in New York, I took a ferry boat to the Statue of Liberty, and on the statue was a poem about how America welcomes all who are yearning to be free. Well, we yearning to be free. We want to live that American dream, not just dream it. One day, someone will show up with a message of hope for all us black folk, and when that day comes, it will be like another Emancipation Proclamation. But this time, it won't be coming from a white man, but from a black man, and people will listen.
I sure would love to live to see that day.
Maybe you will, Mabel. Maybe you will.
End of Act 1, Scene 1. Act 1, Scene 2. Time, evening. Place, a rehearsal room. Fluffy is rehearsing for a show. She is reciting lines from a script.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's who you are. You're in this room. You've traveled so far.
Fluffy then stops, looks up, surprised, and speaks to the audience.
Oh, hello there. I didn't know you were watching me. I was just rehearsing my lines for my upcoming show, Fluffy, the Girl Next Door. I play a young, innocent girl who lives next door to a kindly older gentleman, Mr. Aloysius, who has lots of money, and he needs assistance to help him write a book. My boyfriend, who's a big movie mogul, told me that I'm perfect for the part. He told me so himself, and I know I can believe every word he says because he's a producer, and producers never lie. Besides, he likes me. Some people say he likes me because of my beautiful legs or my pretty smile, but I know they're wrong. Just yesterday, he told me that one day we're going to get married. Well, as soon as he divorced his wife. She had the nerve to call me a home wrecker just because I gave her husband a little kiss on the cheek. Well, how could little old me possibly wreck anything? Now I gotta go back to my practicing. So I hope you don't mind if you don't excuse me.
Fluffy resumes reading from the script.
I can't help being so beautiful, so sweet, so fine. My long blonde tresses are not contrived. You might say that I'm a little dipsy, but maybe that's because the world is tipsy. And then Mr. Aloysius says, "My dear girl, you are so charming. Please join me in my apartment for a cup of tea." And then I say to Mr. Aloysius,
What are you doing here?
"I'm practicing my lines. You want to hear?"
No, I don't want to hear. I want you to leave.
Why are you so stinged at me? I just want to be friends, that's all.
You say that one more time and I'll be sending you on a one-way trip to Mars.
No need to get so huffy. But since you're here, let me tell you something I say to Mr. Aloysius' daughter. I tell you, girl, just get alive and stop your guff. It's really rife. You see, my gal, that I am hip. So please, no more unpleasant lip. Aren't those lines clever?
Honey, I've had it with you. It just ain't fair. I have more talent in my little finger than you have in your whole body. Yet, you're a star and I'm nothing. Oh!
Well, as my darling mother once said, some people have it and some people don't.
As my mother once said, those who run off with the mouth make lots of noise. And right now you're making a whole lot of noise, which I'm gonna fix right now.
The lights go out. Then from the darkness come sounds of Fluffy screaming.
No! No! No!
Then from the darkness, Mabel's voice can be heard.
I taught that girl a lesson. I guess Mr. Aloysius is gonna have to find himself a new neighbor and hopefully she'll be black.
End of Act 1. We will now take a 10-minute intermission.